So...
Alright. So Steven Universe is a cartoon that airs on Cartoon Network occasionally.
When Cartoon Network deems it alright for us to view it.
And every so often, we will sometimes get, like, a big chunk of Steven Universe.
And then I ignore that big chunk of Steven Universe until I get a really huge chunk of Steven Universe. And then I do that dumb thing where I binge Steven Universe for 5 hours.
Yeah, see, the intended way is to watch it daily so that you kind of, like, get a chance to cool off.
Absorb?
Yeah, we didn't do that. We watched all of the Summer of Steven in one go.
It was, wow. Wow. That was,
emotional roller coaster
wow.
is the phrase I kept tossing around.
I have been since, what did we watch it on? Saturday night? We watched it
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, because I have not been able to stop thinking about that season finale for...
Oh my god.
I mean, Bubbled was so intense.
That was, like... I joked about it. I said if there were two
toddlers.
Two toddlers in a bubble in space and one tried to kill the other with a knife, would that be fucked up or what?
But it was fucked up.
Oh my god, it was. For kids.
Yeah, for kids. Now let's trap this child in a bubble in the literal middle of outer space alone with something trying to kill him with a knife. They didn't
with a psychotic gremlin.
They didn't even fuck around. They were like, we're just gonna give Eyeball a knife.
Yeah, she straight out pulled out a knife.
A shank. It was a shank.
Like, it wasn't like a fun fantasy weapon like Amethyst Whip or a cool spear. No, she had a knife.
She had an actual knife with which to stab you with. For kids.
Yeah, for kids.
For kids.
Just stab a 14-year-old. Why not?
Big deal. It's fine. What's the worst that could happen? Oh my god.
But man, no, that was like this show just continues to get better and better.
That was probably the best season of any cartoon I've watched in a long, long time.
Yeah, like it's been a while since we've it had some of the funniest episodes.
Oh my god!
I've seen in the show. It had some of the most dramatic ones, just gut punch episodes.
I know. Oh my god! I feel like, for one, we were saying the other night, I think Restaurant Wars is probably one of the funniest episodes Steven Universe has ever produced, and I cannot.
I'm still thinking about how funny Restaurant Wars was.
Restaurant Wars is so quality. I mean, all of those jokes hit so perfectly.
Every joke was just perfectly timed.
It's so, snappy. I'm amazed that Restaurant Wars is only 11 minutes long.
Right? That was, straight up, season 2 SpongeBob to
right?
Looney Tunes quality.
Oh, I know. Just that level of just that timing was so bam, bam, bam. Those jokes hit so perfectly.
There's one thing I will always think Band Geeks is the funniest cartoon to ever grace television.
Oh my god, right?
Restaurant Wars is probably number 2.
Restaurant Wars. Yeah, I think it might actually be funnier than Hit the Diamond.
Oh yeah. The one the fact that there were 2 bits. It was that put it over Hit the Diamond. It was Kiki's response to Ronaldo having an internet girlfriend.
Where's she at though?
It was that, and then the reveal that Ronaldo actually does have an internet girlfriend.
No! I felt so bad. I felt actually bad for Ronaldo for once.
I felt really bad for Ronaldo.
Oh my god, no!
And then he spends the rest of the episode face down in the table.
I like how transparent it was that Kiki and Ronaldo were in a weren't in a relationship.
Yeah,
I like how blatant it was, but because that comedy
when Steven had to shout it out from the background.
Do you mean you two are somehow involved in a romantic relationship of some kind? I think what makes that joke work so well was when, how quickly their parents were like, well, we must drop this feud immediately.
Yeah, how quickly they accepted it.
To allow this love to blossom. It was so funny, because, that instant acceptance is what really sold the joke from being, just a good joke to being hysterical, you know?
Steven's anime
Yeah, his little chin. More like season 3 of Steven Universe. More like we're going full anime, motherfucker.
Oh, there was so much anime.
Yeah, full anime now, kids.
Here, kids. Here's just a straight up Neon Genesis Evangelion reference.
Holy shit!
None of the kids will get
Not
this.
a single child watching Ava is gonna get that. Watching Steven Universe is gonna get that Ava joke. But here we are.
There are people that I know and am friends with who wouldn't get that joke.
Yeah, there are a lot of adults who will not get the Ava joke. But you and I were watching that shit, and we're like, did they just make a? What the fuck?
I mean, they had one earlier in the obstacle course or the test episode. Where Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl did the congratulations thing.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But that was different. That's an easier Ava joke to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not quite as esoteric.
It's just like a random shot of two people sitting on a beach in front of a weird moonscape. Side by side together. That's a really specific thing that people are gonna be. You're gonna have to catch. You go wait, what the fuck?
I think that was the most blatant anime reference in the series, and that's including the fact that Jasper and Peridot are Nappa and Vegeta,
and the fact that they just straight up took fight sequences from Utena for Pearl versus Hollow Pearl. Yeah, I think it's probably the most blatant reference of the whole show, and I'm sure there's been more, even more blatant ones that I've missed because I just didn't realize how esoteric they were.
Yeah, but that was just a big reference. That was in there because they wanted to make an Ava joke. The other ones are well, we have the script written and we can sneak something in.
And I guess the fact that episode itself is called Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. It's just one big dumb anime. It's the whole season is just one big dumb episode of an anime, man. And it was awesome.
Yeah. I want to, before we abandon Restaurant Wars, I want to point out that the best joke in that whole episode was, and when pizza is on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime! Because that jingle has been in my head daily since 1996.
And it took, I realized he said it, and then my brain went, wait, he just said that, and I knew. Oh, Rebecca Sugar, you. When they ordered pizza bagels, the jingle played in my head. Oh, yeah.
And then he actually said it, and I'd lost it.
Oh, you motherfuckers. You knew what you were doing.
If you could have seen me at that time, my God. I was about to fall out of my chair laughing.
I'm sure. I loved just, the little, Ronaldo's dad's reaction when he realized the fries were perfect. That little anime, you know? Oh, man. That was such a good episode. Restaurant Wars is easily the funniest episode the show has ever produced.
Oh, without a doubt. It manages to beat out Hit the Diamond.
Which is really saying something, because Hit the Diamond is, the high mark of cartoon, hilarity since Band Geeks. Steven Universe continues to dominate in the comedy front. Hold on, 1 second. Don't stop the podcast. I'm just going to turn off my ceiling fan because it actually is pretty noisy in this recording. Okay. So sit still, talk to yourself for 30 seconds.
Okay.
No, but you aren't going outside. You're not going outside.
I'm completely in love with that whole episode because it's so... It was just so good. The part where PD tried to take the blame for ordering the mozzarella sticks and then so willingly accepted that it was Steven's fault.
What?
When Petey was in the pizza suit, and he tried to take the blame for the mozzarella sticks, and then Steven did it, and he just so willingly accepted Steven's fault.
Yeah, he didn't try to be like, "No, dude, it wasn't your fault." No, it was Steven's fault.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, it clearly wins in comedy. It also wins in gut punching, agony,
and ruining my life moments.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Greg.
Oh man, Mr. Greg was not nearly as much of an emotional roller coaster as people made it out to be. Like from what I saw, like the hype. It was just fun. I mean, honestly, I was kind of like, "Aw, it's over this," and it's kind of sad. But mostly, I was just having a good time because the music.
It was a good musical episode.
Because the music in Mr. Greg is super good.
It was such an important episode.
Oh, I know. It was nice to kind of finally see, because we've said it before. Every time Pearl and Greg do interact, like on a funny way, like on a friendly way, it's always really good. You know, like the whole. Do you understand that cartoon he's watching? I don't
understand anything anymore.
Exactly.
It's my favorite exchange in the series.
It's so funny and it's so true. And so
it's really good to finally just see them, because Greg gets along great with Garnet and Amethyst already. Yeah. And so seeing him actually finally start connecting with Pearl again after all this time.
And really for the first time, because they never really liked each other.
And it was really, really refreshing. It felt good by the end of it.
Yeah, it was just good to kind of have that baggage kind of, it's Steven Universe has handled these characters' baggage really well, where it doesn't disappear after one episode, but it also does get resolved, you know?
Yeah, it gets resolved when the time is right.
And I think it's kind of nice to see the transformation every character, but especially Pearl, has made from the start of this, the series to where we are now. It's just nice to see Pearl kind of get over obviously not over Rose, but certainly
that'll never
happen. But certainly over a lot of the emotional hang-ups she had in the wake of Rose dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was really cool. The way she's kind of handled just learning to love Steven for Steven, the way she's now learning to get used to Greg and love herself as herself and not as Rose's vassal or whatever.
Yeah,
those are nice things. It's it's been handled really well so far.
It's great. There were plenty of other bigger gut punches. Speaking of Rose Quartz.
Rose Quartz, the character who I am still struggling to understand. A character, I think it was during the baby episode, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But it was
Greg the babysitter.
The babysitter episode, where I said to you, I wish I understood Rose. And then, at the end of the season, I'm sitting here I really wish I understood Rose. You know?
We absolutely, and not now, don't do it now, do it way later.
Please.
But we absolutely need just a straight up, here is a flashback episode of the war.
Please. At least, please God, at some point, because they've been setting it up. This whole...
Not this season. Season 4, maybe.
No, that's what we actually are in season 4 now.
Oh, we're in 3. No, 4. So season 5 then.
Bubbled was the end of season 3. And yes, and then, what was...
Kindergarten Kid and, Know Your Fusion.
Yeah, those were the first 2 episodes of 4. I think we probably...
Wow, okay.
I think we will probably get a flashback episode in season 4. Just because at the end of season 4, because they set it up at the end of season 3, you know?
Yeah.
Because wow, how about that plot twist, right?
Which one?
Well, let's start... I don't even know where to start. Let's start with Bismuth. Let's start with Bismuth, because that's a pretty whoa episode.
Yeah, that's the first full-length episode.
Is it? Was it the first full-length episode?
Yeah, not even Jailbreak, the season, or was it the season finale of
season 1, right? Yeah.
Yeah, season 1.
Yeah.
That was 11 minutes.
Yeah, that's Actually, no, before we get on to Bismuth, I did want to point out, because I realized it this like last night, I was just chilling out and thinking, season 2 ended with the whole cluster thing being resolved, right? Like, that was the season finale for 2.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a terrible, painful, horrible symmetry we now have going on, where 2 ended with something being bubbled, and 3 ended with something being bubbled. Yeah. And the first bubbling was a nice, peaceful thing. The second bubbling was definitely like a complete and total horror story.
No.
So, yeah. Rebecca Sugar, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Chill the fuck out, Rebecca
Yeah, so
Sugar.
Bismuth is probably the first big, like, what in the fuck is happening?
Right? Like, well, the episode, with where Jasper finally shows her face again, that was before Bismuth, and that was a pretty, like, what the fuck moment, but it was really more like an emotional thing, because, like, what the fuck?
We should talk, like, you're talking about Alone at Sea, right?
Yeah, Alone at Sea.
Yeah. That was, we should again,
there.
pause Bismuth for a bit.
Yeah.
Because that was, like...
intense?
Jasper just popping up out of nowhere.
For one, yeah. I thought they were going to pull her up on the fishing line.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Because I knew that, like, Jasper was in this episode, because I have a Tumblr. But I didn't really know the whole extent of her being in this episode. And wow, damn, how about the end of Alone at Sea, man?
Yeah.
Like, get away from that damn food. I need to move this food off my damn side table. Cause
hey kids, this is what an abusive relationship looks like.
Like, damn, it was just so... I mean, it was so blatant, and I didn't expect it to go as blatant as it did. Now, they had been making kind of, like, references to the horrible nature of Lapis and Jasper's relationship before this. They had made kind of references, you know, Garnet had made like a non-joke about how they're bad for each other, like right after it happened. But this is probably the most blatant it's ever gotten, where it was just straight up like, hey, this is what this is. Yeah.
Kids, if you see something like this, that's what it means.
It's a bad, bad thing. Like, man, that whole part, like, you feel sick, that whole part where Jasper's like, you've changed me. I was like, that's just, like, really, really upsetting. I don't know.
Like, we need each other, and, like...
we can't function without each other.
Yeah, like, jeez, just laying it on.
Oh, man, it was so good. It was so good, but it was so intense. It was not at all what I expected. And, it was very... I mean, like I said, it was really intense. Just that whole speech she gave, and you're just like, man, you really feel that in your gut, just how awful that whole situation is. And, you know... It was cool to see Lapis acknowledge that what she did to Jasper was probably wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
Was going too far,
right.
or not...
And enjoying what she did to Jasper, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't the ideal situation.
Yeah, like, that was cool. You know, it was good to see kind of that acknowledgement from Lapis, because before that, because you understood, like, well, you kind of gave her a pass because it was such a traumatic experience. You're kind of like, well, okay, it was a horrible, horrible thing, and Lapis has been through a whole lot of bullshit, more so than most other characters, except for Steven himself.
Yeah.
You know, my little trauma babies. Jesus Christ. So, like, you kind of gave her a pass, but then you thought about it, and you're like, well, it actually was pretty fucked up to keep even, like, your worst enemy literally trapped at the bottom of the ocean for God knows how long. So it was kind of nice to see that acknowledgement, I guess. But then Jasper just turned it right back around and made it so much worse. Holy shit.
Yeah. Like, yeah, she did.
Yeah, like, holy shit. I don't know.
It's just in, like, Jasper's whole character arc this entire season was handled so well.
Oh man, I know, right?
Like, they managed to give her a full, complete character arc without any redemption in it.
That was really... And they not only did they not give her redemption, which was really what I was hoping for, but at the same time, they made her completely understandable.
Yes, I was about to say that. That's what I keep bringing up all the time. Your villain can be understandable without being sympathetic.
Yeah, I think it was so smart. I felt, and I know her redemption is coming, but I'm glad that they've kind of put it off for now. Like, it's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah, assumingly, like that'll probably be one of the things when they figure out how to fix corruption.
Yeah. But so it's coming, but it's been put off for now. But I think they kind of handled like a softening of her character really well, or not. I guess, like you said, not exactly not redeeming them, but certainly making them understandable.
Which, speaking of, let's get into bismuth.
Yeah, let's get into bismuth now. Let's whoa.
Holy shit, that was like
yeah.
Like I knew that bismuth showed up.
Yeah, because we have tumblers.
Yeah, but and I saw the cute little eye catch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was so cute too,
which was
right?
Adorable, and I loved it.
It was so anime, and it was adorable, and it's like nothing good is gonna come of this.
Yeah,
episode.
And then I did not expect it to go to that point.
Man, that was so rough. It was just so hey, let's take this little kid, let's take this sweet character and basically just stomp on everything he believes in. Yeah, you know.
I had my suspicions when she first got excited about weapons, but everyone else was too, so I'm like, okay, well maybe that's, it's alright.
Yeah.
And then, she brought out the pile bunker, which I got hyped for in the first place, because pile bunkers are cool.
Yeah.
And then she's like, it'll shatter gems, and I'm like, we're going this far.
I don't want to go to this place.
I want to get off Miss Sugar's wild ride.
I don't want to be here now. I need an adult. Man, I don't even know where to start with that episode. For one, okay, how about the fact that they really did a good job of springing, I didn't even notice it when the episode started, but that sneaky little title card was pretty awesome,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I thought, the episode we watched, they just cut out the title card for some reason.
No, that was real good. You knew, that kind of, clued you in on what a punchy episode this was going to be.
this is an important epised.
Yeah, if they cut out the nice soft title card that we've all become so accustomed to.
The ukulele strum.
Yeah. That some shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
And boy, did it.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Boy, did it ever. I
was really thinking, the episode was going to go one of two ways. I knew eventually, bismuth will not stick around for whatever reason.
Right.
Because I didn't see anything else of bismuth.
Right.
In the rest of the future episodes, through Tumblr.
Yeah.
I knew bismuth was going to leave, so I didn't know how. And at first I thought, only Garnet and Pearl know her. Bismuth has memory manipulation powers? Maybe? That was my initial suspicion.
Yeah.
The reason Amethyst doesn't remember her is because neither technically do Pearl and Garnet, and bismuth was bubbled so that she would not manipulate people's memories into thinking that she was on their old friend or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then that didn't happen, and it got worse instead.
Oh, it got so much worse. It got so much worse. Oh, man. Oh, man.
It also,
I'm, going over it in my head because it was so intense. I mean, it was handled really well. You feel really bad for Bismuth. You feel even worse for Steven.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole staging in that last confrontation between him and her at the end of the episode, where they're down in that pit, and kind of that whole staging is so good.
Yeah.
That whole, just the setup, the way those scenes were storyboarded out, and I want to know who storyboarded Bismuth, because they deserve an award.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Because the way the expressions were handled, It was really, really good.
Like, I don't even want to call it a fight scene. It's because it wasn't just a fight scene. It was a confrontation.
I mean, it was just it was really more of a confrontation than it was anything else. You know, I just, man.
Like, and, you know, that's like one of the few times Steven's actually by himself.
Yeah, and I think it's really the first time he's ever had to use the sword before.
I think that's the first time, he's ever wielded it, because usually Connie picks it up.
Yeah, the first time they ever used it was him and Connie. But I think that's the first time he's ever had to use it alone.
Yeah, I think so.
And, like, it's just so, I like that, and we'll kind of loop this back around when we get to the next kind of punchy moment of Season 3. They did a good job of sneaking in the fact that Rose's sword is only meant to poof her enemies, not destroy her enemies.
Yeah, that's, you know, something that, like, I thought was, like, a really important thing to bring up.
Mm-hmm. And, it was a good thing to kind of set up, like, oh, well, this is why Steven chose to use the sword on Bismuth instead. And it's such a, you know, Bismuth is now kind of back in her limbo, and you feel really bad for her. But it's kind of like you don't know what to do.
They really set up, like, the bubbling thing for Jasper, for Bismuth, and also in a way for Centipedal.
Yeah.
That, hey, these characters are going to come back in some manner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They'll Oh, absolutely.
Like, they'll circle around to this. Like, they're really setting up, like, they did a lot, in a few episodes, they've really set up the idea of Steven wanting to fix corruption.
Yeah. And, oh man, wasn't the Centipedal episode a total...
Oh, that was also a punch, man.
Man, that was, it started out cute, and then it got really sad, and then it got cute later. Again, but in a different way, and at least, you know, like, Centipedal and all the other Centipedals are happy now.
At least they're okay now.
They're okay, because they're together, but, like, man, the whole, like... realization that she's like falling back apart was so sad. And when she's crying on the teleport thing, I was just like, no, Rebecca Sugar, why?
They're
so
really
sad.
Really driving home how bad corruption and shattering are.
And it, I guess I picked up on it, but I kind of want to go back over it with you. But it's implied that Homeworld is the reason. Like, White Diamond is the reason corruption even happens, right?
They haven't really addressed, like, in a major way what corruption actually is. And I mean, you can kind of assume it's similar to, like, the way, like, oxidization affects metals or, like, rusting.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, there's probably something that might disprove this, but my theory is that because gems are a spacefaring race, different planets, their different weather patterns or different atmospheres can affect gems negatively.
Now, see, I do think, just because the way Centipedal kind of set it up, and the way the end of the war has also been set up, I think it was definitely something the Diamonds did. I think it was kind of like the last... When they were retreating from Earth after Rose had essentially beaten them, they deployed some last weapon to get back at Rose, because they mentioned that Rose was only able to save a handful of her closest friends. And it very well could be that that was literal. Like,
yeah, they fried
the people standing closest to her.
Yeah.
You know?
Now that I think about it, though, corruption might be similar to, like, a virus or a plague of some kind, because we saw it happen to Jasper only after she fused with the corrupted gem.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Who knows? We don't have an answer for it right now. It just exists as corruption.
Nobody knows. Nobody really knows, like, why it starts. But Peridot did make a pretty good point. They made Peridot point out that corruption is not a thing on Homeworld, like, at all. Like, this doesn't happen on Homeworld, and as far as anybody can tell, because Peridot is knowledgeable, it has never happened on any other colony before.
Yeah.
So it's entirely an Earth thing.
Mm-hmm. So we'll probably get more feedback on that. But like, I kind of have a pet theory about corruption and about shattering in general. Mm-hmm. And I think, and what I've noticed a lot is like, all of the gems pretty much are really gung-ho about fighting, even Pearl.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no, like, they're really driving home the importance of fighting. And I think part of the reason for that is because the gems in general have a method of defeating your enemy without actually killing them. Mm-hmm. Poofing is a much safer way of handling your enemies.
Right.
And you can win a battle without any casualties by poofing them.
Right.
So I think the reason like gems in general are all pretty gung-ho about fighting is they have that sort of safety net.
Yeah.
And so the idea of actually shattering them means that things have escalated to the point where that's a necessity.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Bismuth couldn't understand Rose in that way. And it's like, to Bismuth, like, this is the next step to combat.
To her, it was the way to win.
Yeah.
And I wonder... Maybe I wasn't... Go ahead.
I wonder how many others would share that opinion.
That it was just, like, the way to win?
Yeah. Like, how many, even within Rose's army, or anything like that, how many would have agreed with her?
I'm sure... God, I don't know.
It's right? So, like... These are the things that are keeping me up.
It's so, like... I don't... It's kind of a question of, they mention that... Pearl mentions once, when they went to the Strawberry Fields for the first time, that a lot of gems were shattered there. But... it doesn't make mention of who did the shattering.
Yeah.
I assume it's all Homeworld gems who are doing the shattering, because, well, I don't know. Because they mentioned that one of the reasons Rose was able to win was because she could heal where other Homeworld gems couldn't. So when her soldiers became cracked, they just were able to get healed and get back into the fight, unlike Homeworld soldiers, who just had to deal with being cracked or shattered. But I don't know. I wonder if they just intentionally cracked them instead of shattering them entirely.
Yeah, it's like we won't know until we actually get that episode.
Yeah, right? It's I don't know.
We only have like 5 opinions on what the war was like.
And I'm so desperate for a flashback.
Yeah.
I want to know. I don't know if like if Rose doing what she did, if it kicked off the rebellion, or if it was like the last act of the rebellion, or if it was like the midpoint that really proved just how serious they were. I don't remember. Maybe they said something, but I
think it's either the beginning or the midpoint. I don't think it's the end.
Right.
I think either we can just say it.
Yeah.
Rose shattered Pink Diamond.
Which is...
which was, like, jaw drop. Like, holy fuck.
Like, because I expected something. Because when Jasper said it to Steven, she said, what you did to my diamond, to your diamond, to Pink Diamond. So I knew, like, oh, well, Rose did something. I thought, like, hurt her or fucked her up somehow. I didn't expect actually killing her, basically. You know? Or something worse than death, really, considering the nature of shards. Mm-hmm. Which is basically doomed to always wanting to be whole again.
Yeah.
So, technically, Rose did something even worse than killing a gem.
Yeah. Like, it's like, I think that was the start of everything.
Yeah. And I want to know how she did it, frankly, because we know, thanks to science, that diamond is the hardest substance on Earth. And Peridot mentions that she's hard to poof.
Well,
so, like, there are different and I know that was a joke, but at the same time...
No, what I mean is diamonds actually aren't that sturdy.
But they're still pretty hard. They're hard to crack.
No, they're very easy to crack, actually.
Really?
Yeah, diamonds are actually very, like, they're like, they can withstand pressure.
Yeah.
But if but they're fairly brittle.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a big chunk of diamond, you can crack off pieces easily.
Yeah,
you can't squeeze it to shatter it.
Yeah.
So, like, she could have, like, and I think that's kind of, like, why they're the leaders, why there's only 4 of them, like, why they're so important is because it's probably fairly easy to poof and shatter a diamond.
Right.
So, like, that's why they have quartz to fight for them.
Right, yeah. And, man...
hearing that in that episode was like just completely jaw drop, like, I need to catch my breath.
Yeah, like, pause the episode and let me think about what the hell you just said to me kind of thing. Because are you really telling me that Rose actually shattered not just anybody, but she shattered a diamond?
Yeah, her leader.
Yeah.
And because Eyeball mentions seeing it, she did it in a public place.
Yeah.
She did it like with witnesses around.
Yeah, it was like a really visible, like, act of rebellion, basically.
Yeah.
She basically just, like, stabbed Caesar on the floor of the Senate, in a way.
Yeah. Which is why I think it's either the beginning or the middle of the war, because there's no way that could be the end of it.
Right, yeah, like, there's no way they would let it go if that was the last act of the rebellion, is to kill a diamond. The diamonds wouldn't stop fighting then.
No, they would keep going until they had to use their desperation move to wipe out everyone else except for whoever Rose could save.
Right.
Which is another interesting thing that doesn't get talked about a lot. It's mentioned that Rose could only save her closest friends. Mm-hmm. They never mentioned that it was just Garnet and Pearl.
Yeah.
Like, they keep saying her closest friends. They never, like, if it was just them, Greg would have said, your mom could only save you, Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl.
Right. Well, Amethyst was underground the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, it would be you would have said, he only could have saved you.
Garnet and Pearl.
Yeah, you, Garnet and Pearl. Like, Garnet and Pearl. Like,
yeah.
So, there might have been others like Bismuth around somewhere.
Who ended up... I mean, I guess maybe then it is that corruption is something... But you would think after all that time then, surely something would have happened to Garnet and Pearl unless they're special.
I don't know.
I mean, though, they could be. Pearl is a pearl and Garnet is a fusion.
Yeah.
So maybe they are immune to corruption and they just don't realize it,
It could be. Like, it's...
I
don't know anything about corruption.
Oh, I know. And it's just like, because if you think about it anymore, it's like, okay, they could be immune to corruption, but if that's the case, now suddenly your brain starts thinking about other things, like, this just came to me. What if corruption is a thing that happens if you've been on Earth after X amount of time, because it's just a thing that's unique to Earth, right?
Yeah.
So Jasper is originally from Earth, right? She was
Jasper
made on
and
Earth.
Amethyst are from Earth, yeah.
Right.
So they might be immune to it by proxy. Well, no, because Jasper's not.
That's the point I'm trying to get at. So let's say it's like a time limit thing. Like, you've been on Earth for X amount of time, and now you're being... Well, that doesn't make sense either, because Centipedal was corrupted pretty quickly after the war. I don't know.
Yeah, it's...
I don't know.
We don't know anything about corruption.
I want to know. I need more answers. Rebecca Sugar, give me my flashback episode already. Tell me what's going on. Please, God, give me a flashback episode about, like, what happened with Pink Diamond, especially. Oh, I'm so fucked up over the whole Pink Diamond. I keep thinking about it.
And the other thing is, the reason I think that's an early game incident is because it also explains why Bismuth was so shocked and offended at why Rose would refuse a weapon that shatters gems.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean,
because, hey, how can you be against this? You started the rebellion with this.
But and it kind of, I guess it's a fundamental misunderstanding of Rose, if we can understand Rose at all, because it seems like immediately after she did what she, and it seems like it was really, according to Garnet, it was a thing she had to do. It's not necessarily something she wanted to do.
Yeah.
But really more like, well, I have no choice anymore.
But,
like, this is a thing I have to do now.
But when you're the leader of a rebellion and you do something like that, it doesn't, like, your own troops can misconstrue what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
And suddenly Rose is the hero who shattered a diamond.
Instead of doing, and Rose sees
if she can do it, so can we.
Yeah. And she clearly sees it. I mean, if you think about it, from then on, everything we know about Rose now is that literally all of her actions seem to be about making up for this one horrible thing she did. Like her weapon is something that is intentionally made to just poof things. She's focused on healing now. She wants to save, like, any gem she can get her hands on, you know?
Yeah, like, it's like, Jasper said when she saw that Peridot was on Team Crystal Gem now. And she had that line where she was like, you'll take any gem who is at the end of their limit. That's how you get your converts.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's just so, like...
This season started off so happy and dumb and fun.
I know, because Stephen Floats was so cute!
We got Stephen Floats, we got Restaurant Wars.
We had Beach City Drift, we had Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service, we had all these fun little cutesy episodes involving all the Beach City people... And now, suddenly, here we are in the, like, fucked up moral quandary that is the end of the season. And it's just like, oh, man. Oh, man, it's so messed up. Oh, my God.
I am glad that all the Rose's Pink Diamond theories are just shot down for good now.
Thank God. Hopefully. I didn't hate the idea, mind you. I didn't hate the theory. The first time I heard it, I'm like, oh, that could be pretty cool. But the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I'm like, well, I'm not really just behind it. Like, I'm not 100% gung-ho about it.
It's the thing where it's like, that could happen, but this show's better than that.
Yeah, it's smarter than that.
Yeah, like, it would be a good twist, but they can pull off a better twist. And they did!
Oh, man, did they ever. I have so many questions still, though, and I really need Season 4 to hurry up and be over so I can binge all of it in a night like we did for 3. And we can do this all over again in a few months, where we're just like, what's going on? I feel like, what else is there?
There's plenty more. We can, there's a lot to talk about.
There's so much to talk about. Smoky Quartz is awesome.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, Smoky Quartz. Seeing that happen, like okay, Steven actually can fuse with crystal gems.
That was awesome. And of course, it was the one who... I always expected it would be Amethyst first, because they're just... Like we've said before, they're not really... She's not really his mom. She's his big sister. Yeah. You know?
They've always been, like, more, like... I wouldn't say closer... But, like, more, they relate to each other more.
Yeah, they're more like friends or siblings than they are like your mom. You know, you don't necessarily go to Amethyst for advice. You go to Amethyst for, like, the moral support.
You go to Amethyst to run away from home and get attacked by a raccoon.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. You know, and so, like, it made sense that it would be Amethyst first, but boy, I was so happy when it was Amethyst first.
I was about as happy as Garnet was.
Oh my God, Garnet's reaction was probably the best way to start season 4.
Watching Garnet just throttle Pearl in excitement.
Literally screaming for a full minute, just and shaking Pearl and, like, freaking out, smiling the whole time. I don't know if you noticed it, but Pearl's socks were literally blown off.
I saw that.
Yes, that was my favorite joke. Her socks were literally blown off.
That episode, Know Your Fusion.
Oh, what a smart episode, right?
Oh my God, I lost it at the Sugalite bit.
Oh my
God! In this episode, do we have to pay her? Oh, okay, that's fine.
And footage provided courtesy of Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Oh, like, my God.
It really felt like, hey guys, let's just do say Uncle twice.
Yeah,
Let's just do another Say Uncle. That was fun.
Yeah, let's do Say Uncle again, but this one can be canon.
Yeah.
Where we just kind of knock on the fourth wall the whole episode, you know?
Plus, I'm always up for more sardonics.
Oh my god, right? Best fusion, right?
I love that fusion so much.
Oh my god, she's literally the best fusion. Maybe it's because she's also had the chance to speak the most.
Yeah.
So she actually has a personality other than Stevani and Smoky Quartz.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she's just so fun. She has an Ojo-sama laugh. She's goofy.
She did it twice in that episode, and I could hear her do it all day.
It's so good, because it's the perfect, like, Americanized Ojo-sama laugh ever. Mm-hmm. And so, just stuff like that. I mean, she's fun. I need to Google who Smoky Quartz's voice actor is. It almost still sounds like Michelle Dietz, but I don't know.
It really does. Which, good job for that, like...
Yeah. But I don't think it is at the same time.
It's not. Like, you can tell.
Yeah.
But, like, it does sound a lot like her.
Yeah, it's a really... it's a fun... The fusion design is good because it's kind of derpy.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a little goofy looking.
It's a little goofy looking, but that's really, fitting considering the two.
I really like how her third arm is not attached at her shoulder. It's at her elbow.
Yeah, it's really cool, right? It's a very kind of neat... I was reading on Rebecca Sugar's Tumblr that she was really excited to give Smoky Quartz small hands because she's always kind of leans towards giving the fusions big hands and like long fingers to kind of, make them seem like even bigger. And so somebody suggested in the design room that Smoky Quartz should have small hands, and she's like, "That's a great idea," which is cute, I think, and it kind of shows just these little. The design, the fact that Smoky Quartz is kind of goofy looking is a good reflection of kind of how Amethyst and Steven see themselves. And
the other fusions, like Sugilite, Sardonyx, Opal, and what's the triple fusion? Alexandrite. They're all very
cool.
Not regal because Sugilite, but like. I guess regal is kind of the word I'm looking for. They're all very professional.
Still has that very kind of it's like a very queenly, like empress kind of like I own this place kind of attitude. They're very regal.
Compared to Smoky Quartz, who looks like a ball of dirt.
Yeah, and who cracks jokes and makes dumb puns
and her her shirt being ripped up, like she is very human.
Yeah,
compared to the other fusions who do look very alien.
Because obviously Smoky Quartz is half human. I mean, that's kind of, it'd be interesting to see what the Steven and Pearl and the Steven and Garnet fusions look like,
I'm really excited for that. What do you think of Amethyst's new design?
I think it's cute. I think she should have kept her hair up in that ponytail.
Yeah.
That ponytail was real cute, man. That ponytail was real cute. I was really liking it.
I like the white.
It's nice. It's a nice change. It's kind of like a very kind of like a big sister going from like your moody kind of sister. It's kind of cool that they use the white as a way to show she actually was very serious when she was poofed. I mean, like the first time she got poofed, it took her a long time to kind of settle on the way she wanted to look and da-da-da-da.
I think what's kind of interesting is that she's wearing a plain white shirt now that's kind of ripped up at the bottom, and her pants didn't really change at all. It really kind of feels like she recovered as quick as possible with as few details as possible because she wanted to get back to save Steven and Connie. Yeah,
I think so. I like the kind of the simple plainness of it because it seems it's a very Amethyst look where it's very dressed down and more, because Pearl's is so formal and Garnet's is very kung fu.
Yeah.
And then, here you have Amethyst in literally kicking around in a pair of star pattern leggings and a white tank top.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of, and I guess it helps also push the fact that she is basically an Earthling as well. Amethyst is essentially, I mean, she's a gem, but she's an Earthling. She's an Earth basically gem. She's almost human in her own way because she is a very human character compared to the high level of neuroses that is Pearl and just how cool cool Garnet is.
How human she is you can't look any further than Steven versus Amethyst.
Oh my god. How about that episode,
That was the most human fight ever.
Because it's set up. It's called Steven versus Amethyst, right? So you're thinking, okay, here it comes. Now she's thinking like, well, I'm not as good as Steven. And, you know, you're thinking the fight is going to be about, well, I'll prove to you how good I am.
Yeah, you think it's going to be heated emotions.
No, you fucking idiots.
It's going to be about how, no, you're better than me. No, you're better than me. I'll prove how bad I am.
Man, this season was so good for Amethyst's character.
Oh, it was.
Like, she seriously needed this season, you know? Because I love Amethyst, but seasons 1 and 2 were very much about kind of one had a lot of Pearl's development, and 2 had a lot of Garnet's, especially with the whole her existential crisis about fusions.
Yeah.
The gems, the force fusions. But Amethyst had like her little bits of development here and there, but this season was it was
a very Amethyst heavy season.
But toward the end especially, it was very much about Amethyst being kind of figuring out who Amethyst is. And it was really cool to see. It was awesome to kind of see that they bond over their terrible sense of self-worth.
Yeah. They bond over being bad at things.
Yeah. And it was cool.
It was.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Hold up. Is somebody at my door? Hold on. I'm still in the thing.
Okay.
Hold on. Give me like 10 minutes, dude.
Okay.
Not you, Doc. My younger brother. What'd you say? Okay.
All right. You
Sorry.
good?
Yeah. He's here to pick something up, and but we can still wrap this up. We've still got a few more minutes.
Okay, we can just follow up. I want to end it on a really high note.
Right.
And talk about how fucking good Kindergarten Kid was.
Oh man, Kindergarten Kid is so fucking ridiculous, right?
Speaking of golden cartoons, man.
Oh.
Hey, let's just do Looney Tunes. Let's just do Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Let's just make an episode of Looney Tunes, man. Let's just fucking go for it, right? Like, literally, there was even the part at the end of the episode where they fall off a cliff, and there's a giant cloud of dust at the bottom.
They do the smoke cloud. What a golden episode to follow up Bubbled with.
Boy, did I need it to. After Bubbled, boy, did I need Kindergarten Kid.
You needed the Peridot show to show up.
I needed the Peridot show real bad.
You needed her to make that face.
Yes, the face that is. I needed that because boy, oh boy, did I feel pretty shitty after Bubbled.
Like, the minute you realize that it's, like, I think the best, like, I swear to God, I've seen that gag in a Wile E. Coyote cartoon is when the rocket she has misfires, and then it shoots her backwards into the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then the rock falls on her.
Oh, yeah, that was totally, like, a thing that I mean, the whole part where she's making, like, where Stephen tells her, like, hey, before you drop this thing, maybe you should move. And she's like, oh, yeah, thank you. And then she moves off to the side, and then rocks fall on her anyways. That is the most Wile E. Coyote gag I've ever seen in my entire life.
I swear to God, I was waiting for her to, like, rig up a hollow projector.
Oh, my God,
to project a tunnel on the side of a rock. Like, if they had done that, A+ episode, perfect. Best episode of all time.
Flawless, perfect episode. The best Wile E. Coyote cartoon ever made that wasn't a Wile E. Coyote cartoon.
I'm still laughing at Steven throwing marshmallows at her.
This is your life now! Constant suffering! Yeah, I fucking know it is. I watched this cartoon. I know what constant suffering feels like. It's literally nothing but pain and sadness for however many fucking hours we watched this whole season the other night. How long were we watching that thing?
If we had just watched it straight up pure, it probably would have taken us like 3 hours. We ended up watching it for like 6 because we're always like, I need to take a breather.
I need to go cry for like 20 minutes, dude. Do you understand? I'm not okay right now. I'm not okay, dude. I'm just like, man, I'm still fucked up over some of the stuff from that season, though. Yeah. Although, I am happy, because I gotta bring this up before we get done. Lapis is still best girl.
Oh, Lapis was great.
Lapis is my girl.
Dude, her and Peridot in the barn showing off their art, their meat morph.
Lapis is the character I probably the most relate with on Steven Universe, because I too am done with everything at all times.
You too don't want to go on adventures and just want to watch TV.
I just want to sit and watch TV, man. No, I don't want to go on your dumb adventures, and no, I'm not putting your stupid hat on my head, Greg.
Or what was it when Amethyst was pretending to be Jasper?
Oh,
she's
man.
Like, do you guys want to be prisoners? Nah,
I'm good. Like,
and the best part is the rubies didn't question why the number of prisoners dropped.
I know, right? The rubies are so dumb. Like,
man, rubies are dumb.
Man, rubies are dumb, and yet somehow a ruby is still responsible for the most traumatic part of season 3. I need Rebecca Sugar to just like sit down and like chill out for a fucking minute. You know, chill the fuck out, Rebecca Sugar. That's what we should call this podcast. Is chill the fuck out, Rebecca Sugar, because there are children watching this. You know, for kids.
Yeah, for kids. You can't. You can make it pretty hardcore, but you can't go that. You can't have a character pull a knife on another character.
You literally can't have a character try and shank a 13-year-old boy, Rebecca Sugar. You can't do that on TV. It's weird.
That's against the rules.
I think that's breaking a rule somewhere.
There are censorship laws in America.
You're gonna get us fucking canceled, Sugar. Jesus Christ. She named that character after her little brother. How do you think Steven Sugar feels about this shit? Alright? How would you like to be Steven Sugar watching this show? Like, does my sister want to kill me with a knife? Does my sister want a toddler to kill me with a shank? Is that what's going on right now? Cause if so, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Oh.
I love Steven Universe.
Oh.
I love Steven Universe.
Fantastic work, as always. There wasn't a bad episode in this
There's
bunch.
not a single bad episode in
Not even
3.
the new Lars was bad.
You know, it really wasn't. They actually handled a body swap episode in a way that didn't make me want to kill myself, and that is saying something.
Because usually I just get so much secondhand embarrassment from that trope.
I know, right? And we didn't even see Lars after that episode, which is the
he
best
just
part.
Kind of faded out. He's like, he's done.
Thank God. Lars got his character development. We're done. Like, let's just can we just keep Lars, like, chained up in, like, one episode a season?
Yeah.
Like, if that was it, I could put up with it. I could deal with Lars for one episode a season, sure. Maybe
Lars
by season 20.
I will say Lars' voice actor did a great job of sounding like Steven trying to sound like Lars.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
He actually managed to sound like Steven the whole time, so good for him. But,
yeah, I'm okay with Lars just kind of going away.
Yeah, like, if we got one episode of Lars per season, then, like, maybe by, like, you know, season 20, Lars would be a character I could stand to actually look at. But as it stands right now, no. I'll never like Lars. Not unless he makes some, like, radical character change or does something awesome. Like, I don't know. I literally think the only thing Lars could do to make me like him is, like, maybe somehow save Pearl, because Pearl is my favorite.
Yeah.
So, like...
If that duo happens in an episode...
Wow. That would be a fucking
I can't even
disaster.
think of a setup where that would force Lars and Pearl to interact.
God.
But now I'm trying.
I kind of want it, because I think she'd mom him to death. You know what I mean? I think she would. I think she'd just mom nag him into non-existence, which sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah. So,
but I think...
just, like, it gets better and better. I can't believe we're getting episodes on Thursday!
On Thursday, we're getting consistent episodes of Steven Universe. I'm going to go buy Season 3 on Prime as my way of supporting the show so it doesn't get canceled. Because I don't have cable, so I have to stream it on the internet. So I'm going to go buy Season 3 as my way of supporting the show.
As
if you're
recompense.
listening, you should do the same.
Yes. Absolutely. Go buy it. Go buy a t-shirt or order a cool mug or something from the Cartoon Network store.
But not that fucking cheeseburger backpack, because that thing is like $120.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I mean, if you have $120, you can spend it on a cheeseburger backpack and take that to your college and be like, look what I have that's cooler than you.
That would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had a cheeseburger backpack.
Yeah.
But I'm poor.
Yeah.
So, you know how it is.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for tonight.
Yeah. Special thanks to Broke for Free for use of our background music. We are on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. Ask us questions. Let us know what you think of the topics we talked about. We will read your emails on the podcast, and we will do shout-outs for you. Send us suggestions for topics or whatever.
If we've played them, we'll talk about them.
Yep, we'll fit that in. We have a lot of episodes already scheduled, but we can always cram in mini episodes like this.
Yeah, this episode wasn't planned. I think this was supposed to be our off week.
Yeah, but, this was supposed to be our off week, but then Steven Universe happened.
Then Steven Universe happened, but we'll be back next week with a proper long podcast. Yeah. And so that's
it. Yes, I got everything. Okay, yeah. All right.
Cool. All right.
Fuck Dima.
Fuck Dima. Good night.
Good night.